In the evening, City Commission meeting here in South Dakota. Roll call, please.
Smith.
Here.
Cook.
Here.
Pride.
Here.
Robish.
Present.
Mayor Harrington.
Here. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public forum comments may be sent during the live meeting broadcast to the city's YouTube channel. This link is listed on the city's website at www.hrsd.com city government. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with your YouTube and Gmail or use your existing accounts. Please state your name and address for the record. Public forum is limited to the maximum of 3 minutes per person. And you also have the opportunity to call in and ask questions. We have a gentleman waiting for your call, and if he gets a call in, he'll notify me and we'll get an answer to you tonight. So with that, moving along to agenda approval. We do have some additions to the agenda, an amendment to the agenda, and it's 6.3 to terminate Sam Carr's position from call center effective 9/28/2020. That'll be 6.3. With that, I would entertain a motion to consider the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda with amendment.
Second.
Commissioner Smith, motion, second by Commissioner Robish. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Pride.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Consent agenda. Matters occurring on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion. Unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item, items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 4.1, minutes of September 21st, 2020. 4.2, fuel quotes by city departments. 4.3, special event on sale license filed by the South Dakota State Fair for a wedding reception to be held at the Expo Building on October 10th, 2020. 4.4, defer the public hearing to consider the 2020-21 retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota wines license filed by Carlson's Northside Service Incorporated, 320 Dakota Avenue North Suite B, until the final inspection has been completed. 4.5, personal items. Accept the resignation of Paul Fitchie, 911 telecommunicator. Number 2, approve the advertisement for a 911 telecommunication position. Number 3, regular status of Daniel N. Fetch, golf maintenance supervisor for completion of probationary period. And 4.6, payment of the bills. Moving on, petitions and communications.
Motion to approve the
Oh,
consent
I'm
agenda.
sorry, yeah. I'm going too fast tonight. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Smith and second by Commissioner Ray, okay? Any discussion about the consent agenda tonight? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Pride.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Petitions and communications 6.1. Public hearing to consider 2020-21 retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota farm wine license filed by Don't Spill the Beans, Brander Sprecher, 289 Dakota Avenue, South Suite 104. Called in?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is for a new license Both the fire chief and building official have done their inspections and recommend approval. We heard no comments, and we also recommend approval from the finance office.
Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Move approval by Commissioner Clute. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robish. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Yes. Consider COVID sampling site and call center contract and authorize the mayor to sign. This is a contract that we have that the city and county are signing with CAR agency to consider sampling the site and call center at our spec building. So, motion to approve.
I move approval.
Approved by Commissioner Bragg. Your second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smith. Any discussion?
So when we, obviously we've had a new spike, which is why we're reconsidering what we previously did, but will this be exactly the same format? I guess the understanding was that the availability for some of the tests from the state are more limited now than they were, and that maybe part of this would be a little more emphasis on the contact tracing, perhaps more than it was. Could you, from the task force perspective, could you speak a little bit?
Yeah, it is going to be some more on our contract tracing. We feel that that's the most important thing right now. We got to figure out, try to find a trail where this breakout is coming and try to find out who's been in contact with them. So that's the most important part of this. Also, the other part of it is that we have a contract with the Care Association through Joe Carr, that this ties it all to him, ties it all to tracing, sampling, and everything in one contract. And it's going to be a month-to-month contract, but right now it looks like it's definitely go through the end of the year for sure, because of what we're facing right now. So it ties up with Joe Carr, make it legal for him, makes him understand what he's got, and ties up so we don't know what we've got going. So it's a contract that we need for the good for both of us.
Do you believe that will they have access to as many test kits from the state as they have up until now? I know that was part of the discussion before, was that the state was going to be providing fewer of those.
We don't have a problem with that right now. No, so we do have 4 sampling facilities in our city now, and 4 testing, actually 5 testing facilities in our city now too. So from where we were in mid-March, we've come a long ways.
So in the past, when this first started, the contact center took most of the calls, then they traced all the calls that they took, plus then they were doing the bulk of the testing, so they could follow up on who they tested. Now, will they be doing contact tracing for, say, someone that's tested or sampled at a different facility, or will they only be contact tracing the tests and the contacts for the ones that they specifically take the test for?
We have an assurance from the medical community that that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to bring the contact list. If a different clinic takes a sample and it comes back positive, that they will notify the Joe Carr, and they can combine all the contacts so they can get a contact list started that way.
And so the expectation for Carr Clinic then is that they would follow up on all of the cases in the
Yes.
community?
Yes, it would.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Yep. Any other questions? Go ahead, Mark.
Well, this whole thing is a big question, because, I mean, the whole process, I mean, so is it free of charge for the tests yet, or it's?
It's still free of charge at our sampling facility. Yeah.
At ours?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what they're doing at the other clinics in town. I've heard they're charging, but I don't know for a fact, but I know what we're doing. We're not charging.
But you still have to be referred to the sampling center.
Correct. From your
From your
position, yeah.
Okay.
But you're correct, there's a lot of, it seems it shifts and changes all the time to something, we get one thing squared and all of a sudden that's not what we should be looking at, so.
I guess my thought was when you said, I know there's a recent spike here, and I understand the urgency of bringing it back on, but we put it on one week, we took it off another week, and now we're putting it back on. What's the criteria for doing this from week to week? I mean, I know we have that luxury to do that, but what's gonna be the criteria going forward? I mean, we've tested, I can't remember the numbers, I saw the numbers Friday, how many people we've tested in the county. We're getting to we're not getting to the top by far, but we're getting to where if we have 5 facilities, I guess those facilities, especially the healthcare facilities, you'd think would be able to take care of that. I'm not trying to be a cheapskate here, what I'm saying is,
Well, I think maybe, if I can interrupt,
Yeah.
I think maybe your question is what is the longevity of our responsibility of
Right.
this? And quite frankly, I don't know if we know, because we don't know what the longevity of COVID is. But earlier in the month, when there was discussion of discontinuing the sampling facility, at least under the task force level, we've been on a good stream of downward pressure on cases and also of sampling, the numbers of sampling that was happening. And we also recognized the other places in the medical community that can do that service. And as recently as last week, of course, we've experienced the uptick in our community as well as the state. But more importantly, I think we got some clarification from the CARs along with the task force of what all they were doing outside of the sampling. And that being the contact tracing, helping assist the state in that effort. And we have the option of getting what we're paying monthly back through the state funds, but that ends at the end of the year. So beyond that, if there isn't some form of federal or state assistance, then the cost of doing this will have to be considered.
and I can appreciate that part of it, that's for sure.
I don't know if that answers your question, Mark, but
I don't know if
maybe
there's
gives you a
even-
little more insight on where
Right.
it's going.
And I don't know if there's even a good question to ask, because, like I say, I don't want to be a cheapskate on the whole thing, but at the same time, the healthcare facilities are in charge of, the healthcare facilities are referring you to this. Once they're referring, why don't you just take the test? You know what I mean? If I go to my physician and he says, we'll get tested, it's like, well, let's just do it right now, right here.
Mark, I think there's two big parts. One, which the mayor and Brian both alluded to, the contact tracing. I know that our school district is really working hard to stay on top of that so that they can keep the schools open, and they would like some assistance with tracking down, because quite frankly, with the statewide spike in cases, the Department of Health that has been doing the contact tracing up until now is just overwhelmed. And so that would be a key reason why I would be in support of this, because if we can get somebody within Beetle County, putting some extra effort into contact tracing here in a way that the county the state is just not able to do. The other piece, I agree with you. The one thing that our sampling facility does have that is different from what you're saying is the ability to do mass testing. And so in times like we've had recently or after the state fair, we can open up that facility, have the vehicles lined up outside, have the folks there all geared up, and they can just do a whole bunch at once. And so if it's just you going into your doctor, get the test done now, but when we can say, hey, everybody that was at the state fair, you're welcome to come during this time and we'll get you through, that's something that they don't have the ability to do through any of the healthcare providers. So, I think with what we voted on last week, none of us want to try to supersede. We would love for the local clinics and hospitals to be able to continue to do the sampling, but if we're gonna have a spike like this, I think, especially since the funds are available to us right now to do so, to handle those larger volumes, and then again, much more importantly to me, if they can really get a handle on keeping track of where this is coming from, doing some more specific and quite frankly, timely contact tracing. We've all, I'm sure, heard stories about, people not getting the call until a week or more after. Well, by that point, what was the debate the other day? What gets out of the barn, the cow or the horse, or whatever is out of the barn by that time. So,
I believe it was a horse.
And that's the part I appreciate. Let's get a handle on this before the end of the year, whether that's no magic date, just like October 1st wasn't a magic date. That's the date we talked about a lot. But December 31st is not a magic date either, but at least we know we have a little bit of help until then. So let's crack the whip so the horse doesn't get out of the barn until December 31st.
If that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't. No, it-
Talk about the horse one.
No.
We have a motion. We've had discussion. Do we need more discussion on this subject? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Robish.
All right.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay. Ordinance and resolutions, 7.1.
You gotta go 6.3, don't you?
Yeah.
We just did 6.2, didn't
Oh, I thought we did
we?
6.
6.3.
Okay. 6.3, I read it. I thought we got a motion on it. Terminate Sam Carr's position from the call center effective 8/9/2 on 9/28/20. I read it. We didn't get a motion on that?
No.
No.
I read it though, right?
No.
Yeah, we added it to the agenda, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so that's where we're at, 6.3. We terminated Sam Carr's position. He was a city employee. So when the Carrs took over this operation, as the new contract says they are, then Sam Carr becomes their employee. So that's what this is. That's what this termination is about.
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion on that? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Now we'll go to 7.1, if we're ready. Ordinance and resolutions, second reading of ordinance number 22-14-3238 and appropriation for 2021.
Thank you, Mayor. There is no changes from our previous first reading. In the memo, I did add a couple things. The total 21 budget is $46,810,828 compared to last year of $32,674,365, which is a 43% increase. Again, because of our big water treatment plant, or excuse me, sewer treatment plant of $14 million, that's where your increase comes from. Otherwise, the budget would have been real close to the previous year of that. No changes. If you have questions, please let me know. In front of you, I did make new copies for you for capital assets, made them in color so you can read them better. And I ask for approval for the 2021 budget.
Motion for approval.
Move to approve the budget as presented.
Commissioner Smith, motion approved. Second.
Second.
Commissioner Bragg, second. Any more discussion, please?
Just,
Yes, yes, you may.
point of clarification, fall in, so there weren't any changes from the first reading to the
Correct.
second reading.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Booth.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 8.1, consider assessing delinquent special assessments against property within the city of Huron. Finance Director Carey.
Thank you, Mayor. These are our assessment projects where we do the infrastructure, not nuisances, that will be assessed by the county now. The delinquent, the county will collect them next year for taxes. Owner of the property is Beaver County. They purchased the delinquent tax deeds and let them know that. All I need is approval to send to the county to put on their tax rolls.
Do I have a motion?
Move approval of that list of delinquent assessments.
Okay. Commissioner Clute, need a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smith. Any more discussion on this?
Just since I'm the new guy again here, Phil, can you explain to me, Paul, so what does this mean to the city then?
So these are, so like for water, sewer, curb, gutter, street, special assessment projects that we've done in the past, and we assess to those properties. The county, when they become delinquent, can collect that for us when they pay their taxes. These have become delinquent probably over 5 years where they're tax deed properties. The county buys the tax deeds. Nuisance assessments like tree removal, mowing, snow removal, things like that, the county does not collect those, we collect those here. So we work with the title agency when properties are sold. So this just puts it on the tax rolls for next year for delinquent.
So then, these come into our budget, I mean, the county will pay us for these regardless, or it's only if they're able to collect it, or?
Rideau County does not usually pay these, no. Hopefully they get paid when the property is sold.
There'll be a lien against the property, so they said, in order for them to buy a property, they'll have to satisfy these assessments or get them compromised or something.
Yeah, we've come to the commission, sometimes we waive some.
Sometimes we'll reduce them.
So if in either case, it's probably not gonna happen until they're, until the property is sold, why do we handle these differently than the other?
State law says there's one or two ways to do special assessments. So when we do our resolution of necessity to do a special assessment project, we follow the law that allows the county to collect the delinquents.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? This time? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Booth.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right. Last on our agenda tonight is 8.2, update on Air Pack Fire Grant. I see we have our Fire Chief Ron Hines here to explain all this to us.
I'll explain it to the best of my ability.
There you go. It's all we can expect.
That's all I'll try. Back in February, we came to the commission asking for approval and permission to apply for the Assistance of Firefighters Grant for the 2020 calendar year. We put in for breathing apparatus, air packs, and compressors for all the county fire departments, which is the City of Huron, Huron Rural Fire Association, Cavour, Woolsey, Wessington, and Hitchcock. We were successful in getting part of the award. We got funding for 87 air packs for the county fire departments. So we had put in, we had a total federal fund grant award of $590,133.33. Non-federal local match, $29,506.67 for a up to total grant award of $619,640. That will outfit all of our county fire departments with the same model and brand of air pack. This way, if someone would have an issue, we can interoperability change back and forth, or if we're on a large incident, we can use the same packs that everybody's got in the county. It was pretty impressive when I got the phone call that we got the grant. We got it. I found out about it in August. Been working on getting all the fine details worked out, getting all our specs and everything. So we will be ordering 87 air packs and accessories to outfit the departments. That purchase order will go in on October 1st. I was told by our supplier that we would see them no later than December 15th of this year, and we would have our invoice. So the city will then get the award money. We'll get our match from our local fire departments, and we'll go from there.
The best deal about this deal is, other than the fact that we're getting the money, is the fact that we also are helping our local county fire departments too. So I think that's a great way of doing it to get them lined up and be ready to go too. So I think, thank you for doing that around this.
Yep,
Good of you.
It was pretty easy to get their stuff, plug it in, do the numbers.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
So much of this equipment is kind of expires after a certain amount of time. How long will this last? You think?
They have a life expectancy of about 15 years.
That's pretty good. Well, that's fantastic. Good work.
Yeah, and then we'll, our equipment that it's replacing will have to take out of service and then has to be disposed of.
Yes.
One thing on that, and that was a good job by our fire department to do that, and our fire chief to take on that. But that's part of a lot of questions are coming on the census thing, because this has a lot to do with it. If you do or don't fill out that census thing, sometimes you think that they're asking for too much information, but that goes on a lot of this stuff goes on the census of how this is. So we're not taking care of just here, we're taking care of the community with that, and that's why a lot of people bring up that census thing. They don't like to talk about it, but it's not being nosy, it's helping us.
Well, you have the numbers, and they use those numbers
Right.
to compile our awards.
Right.
Any other discussion?
Since I'm here, I got 2 more plugs on some grants that I got.
All right, here we go.
I'll make it short, Gary, I promise.
Here we go.
I did apply for the 2020 Homeland Security money this spring. It was. We did get an award in September, $47,877.20. Up to $11,070.10 of that will be hazmat personal protective equipment, and $36,807.08 will be radio equipment for the fire department. We're trying to find the money.
And people just thought you were the fire chief, but it sounds like you're the grant writer and everything else. Find money for us, will you?
Gary, you know I'm always working.
We're gonna give you some more, we're gonna give you some more incentives to do this now, come on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Any other questions on that, guys? Discussions? Roll call vote, please. Don't need one.
Nope.
Just to thank you very much, sir. With that, nothing else? We're done. Good job, guys.
No. Oh.
Kevin,